Yo, what's good? So I just caught NBA Today on ESPN, and Malika Andrews and the entire panel were absolutely going off about two massive stories involving the Golden State Warriors. First, there are now serious whispers and rumblings that Devin Booker could potentially be on his way to Golden State in what would be a franchise-altering blockbuster move that could extend the Warriors' championship window. And second, the Warriors just got absolutely embarrassed by the Milwaukee Bucks 121-10, and they didn't even get Greek-freaked. Giannis didn't play. They got destroyed by Ryan Rollins and a bunch of role players in what was a legitimately frustrating loss. But let's start with the Devin Booker situation because this is absolutely seismic according to the NBA Today crew. Even without formally requesting a trade, sources close to Devin Booker are indicating that the All-Star guard is beginning to see the end of his competitive cycle in Phoenix. After years of trying to lead the Suns to championship glory, Booker is now watching an organization that appears to be entering a phase of reconstruction and complete reevaluation, all while he's currently living in the absolute prime of his career at 28 years old. The Suns don't have a clear pathway to contention anymore. They've struggled to build the right pieces around Booker. The championship window that briefly opened seems to be slamming shut, and the franchise appears to be heading toward a rebuild. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't hit that like button yet, now's the perfect time. Takes literally 1 second, helps the channel grow like crazy, and pushes this Warriors content to way more fans in Dub Nation. So just smash that like real quick, and let's keep rolling with the rest of this breakdown. Malika emphasized that Booker's burning desire to compete for NBA titles right now is finding a new potential destination, the Golden State Warriors, a team that's legitimately ready to win immediately, even as they transition from one era to another, and offers the perfect stage for his championship ambitions and elite scoring talent. The Warriors have the foundational pieces, with Steph Curry still playing at an MVP level. They have the emerging stars in Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. They have the championship culture and infrastructure that's unmatched in the NBA, and one of the most passionate and knowledgeable fan bases in all of professional sports. For a competitor like Devin Booker, who's given everything to Phoenix, the reality is becoming crystal clear that if he wants to win multiple championships in his prime years, Golden State represents that ideal, competitive environment he's been desperately seeking. The NBA Today panel broke down why this makes so much basketball sense for both sides. The Warriors are constructed to compete right now with Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and Jonathan Kuminga as the core. Adding Devin Booker to that mix would instantly make Golden State the favorites to win the Western Conference and return to championship glory. Booker averaged 27.1 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 6.9 assists last season while shooting 49% from the field and 36% from three-point range. He's a three-level scorer who can create his own shot in isolation, run pick and roll to absolute perfection with elite big men, and has proven he can be the #1 option on a finals team. Pairing Booker with Curry would give the Warriors two of the most lethal offensive guards in NBA history playing together, while Draymond provides the defensive anchor and Kuminga continues developing into a two-way star. The timing makes perfect sense according to Malika's analysis. Phoenix is facing harsh financial realities with their salary cap situation, limited draft assets to improve the roster, and an aging core that's clearly past its championship window. Meanwhile, Devin Booker is watching other superstars his age, like Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic, competing for championships every single year, while he's stuck on a Suns team trending rapidly in the wrong direction with no clear path back to contention. The Warriors represent everything Phoenix isn't right now. A team with championship DNA ingrained in the organization, a proven winning culture that spans over a decade, financial resources to build around multiple stars, the perfect offensive system for Booker's skill set, and the Bay Area market energy that a player of Booker's elite caliber deserves to showcase his talents. Sources suggest that while no formal trade request has been made public, Booker's inner circle is quietly exploring what a move to a perennial contender like Golden State would look like logistically and from a basketball fit perspective. The conversations are preliminary, but growing more serious as Phoenix's season continues to spiral, and Booker recognizes his prime years are being wasted. The basketball fit is absolutely undeniable according to the panel. Booker would slot perfectly into Steve Kerr's motion offense that emphasizes constant ball movement, off-ball cutting, and elite three-point shooting. He'd have the spacing he needs with Curry as the ultimate gravity generator, and Draymond's defensive versatility and playmaking would cover for any defensive limitations while maximizing Booker's offensive strengths. Imagine Booker and Curry playing off each other. Defenses would have absolutely no idea how to guard that backcourt tandem. Chase Center would absolutely erupt, having a player of Booker's caliber wearing the blue and gold. The NBA Today crew thinks this is a situation worth monitoring extremely closely over the next few weeks and months, because where there's legitimate smoke in the NBA, there's often fire brewing behind the scenes. The Warriors need this, according to Malika. They're 4-2 now after losing to Milwaukee, and while they've shown flashes of brilliance, they need that second elite scoring option to truly compete for championships. Booker would be that missing piece that takes Golden State from playoff contender back to championship favorite status. But now, let's talk about this absolutely embarrassing loss to the Bucks, because the Warriors got demolished by Ryan Rollins and Milwaukee's role player. You didn't get Greek freaked. You got Ryan Rollinsed as Golden State lost 120-110. Steve Kerr said after the game that his team was mentally and physically fatigued, didn't have that same energy and pop they've shown through the first 5 games of the season, and they just lost to a Bucks team missing their superstar. The Bucks started hitting absolutely nonsensical three-pointers at the end of the game. The Warriors turned the ball over way too many times with 19 turnovers, and that was the ball game. This is a legitimately frustrating loss for the Warriors, according to the NBA Today breakdown. Golden State shot only 34% from three-point range, which isn't good enough, but really, those 19 turnovers are what kills you. Also concerning was only 22 assists on 36 made baskets. Things were incredibly hard to come by in the half-court offense. The Warriors actually won the rebounding battle and killed Milwaukee on the glass, but when you trade away a player like Ryan Rollins, who has gradually gotten better, and then he comes back and plays against you with extra motivation, things probably aren't going to go in your favor. And they absolutely didn't. Ryan Rollins dropped 32 points and 8 rebounds against his former team. If you don't know the backstory, Rollins was drafted by the Warriors back in 2022 in the second round, and eventually was included in that Chris Paul trade that sent Jordan Poole to Washington along with a first-round pick, one of the worst trades in recent Warriors history. Rollins was part of that deal, and he clearly still thinks about Golden State, and he was definitely thinking about them in this revenge game. Rollins was getting to his spots in the mid-range, knocking down three-pointers, playing elite defense with his 6'10" wingspan, showing he's a legitimately good player. The Warriors didn't need to let him score 22 points with only 1 turnover. He played one of the best games the panel has ever seen from him. Super efficient. Barely got to the free throw line, went 13 for 21 from the field, and 5 for 7 from deep. Rollins was absolutely feeling it, and the Warriors couldn't get enough stop. Looking at Golden State's performance, Steph Curry's stat line looks solid on paper at 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. If you're just box score watching, he was okay, but Malika said he was not in rhythm at all in this game. Credit to the Bucks for throwing doubles and blitzes at Curry constantly, creating turnovers. Steph had 5 turnovers, which is way too many. Yes, he's one of 3 guys allowed to turn it over occasionally, but you can't have 5 turnovers and expect to win when role players on the other side know they have to elevate their effort. Curry shot 4 for 10 from 3, but it was a pretty inefficient night overall. Andrew Wiggins was solid with 7 offensive rebounds. He was matching Milwaukee's effort level, when it didn't seem like many others were. But Wiggins only had 3 assists and wasn't really facilitating much, went 7 for 18 from the field, which isn't efficient, and only got to the free throw line a couple times. Jonathan Kuminga was one of the few bright spots with 24 points and 8 rebounds to lead the team. Kuminga continues to be a monster on the glass, and that's all the panel can ask from him. The good news is Kuminga is still bought in, still playing the right way, understanding he can go get his own shot in isolation when he's hot. He went 7 for 11 from the field with good shot selection, 2 for 4 from 3, showing the efficiency is improving. But Kuminga also had 5 turnovers, which is completely unacceptable. He's not one of the guys allowed to turn it over that much. Draymond Green had an interesting game. The Warriors had 19 total turnovers, but Draymond only had 1, which is shocking, considering he's usually good for 4 turnovers per game. He was actually the only Warrior with a positive plus-minus rating. Draymond is still one of the most elite players at his position, one of the most elite defenders in the league, and one of the smartest basketball minds in the world. He got called for a clear path foul, but somebody needed to help him. Draymond was out there battling while others disappeared. The real problem was the bench, according to Malik. The Milwaukee bench unit absolutely snapped, with 8 players scoring in double figures, while Golden State got almost nothing from their second unit. Al Horford is still trying to get acclimated to Golden State's complicated system. It's not like what other teams run, not like what Boston ran with him. Horford was the Warriors' marquee free agent signing, and while he's limited to about 20 minutes per game, in a game where the panel thought he'd be super effective, he wasn't. Going 1 for 6 from the field, and 1 for 4 from 3 doesn't help, with only 2 rebounds. Quinton Post wasn't even the answer. Steve Kerr could only give Post 10 minutes before yanking him. Post wasn't good on offense or defense, didn't match up well against Brook Lopez, a big who can dribble and get defenders on their heel. When Post is on his heels, he's barbecue chicken. Bad matchup for him, though he'll be more effective against stationary bigs. Brandon Podziemski was mediocre with 3 steals, but a bad 3 assist to 2 turnover ratio. The defense across the board was rough, letting up 120 points to Milwaukee without Giannis. With 8 guys in double figures, means nobody was guarding anybody. That goes for Steph, Pods, Buddy Hield, everyone. The Warriors are now 4-2 and have gone through some serious bumps. They got destroyed in Portland, got embarrassed in Milwaukee. But here's what makes it worse, according to the NBA Today crew. Adam Silver absolutely screwed the Warriors with the schedule. This Milwaukee game started a brutal stretch of 10 of the next 12 games on the road. At Milwaukee, at Sacramento, at Denver, at OKC, 2 in San Antonio. Then, at New Orleans, Orlando, and Miami. That's a 6-game road trip in there. Not only that, but Silver put 2 back-to-backs in the first 8 days of the season. The Warriors have played 5 games in the last 8 days, which is unsustainable for guys who are 35-plus years old. And this is why the Devin Booker trade rumors make even more sense. If Golden State can add a 28-year-old superstar in his absolute prime to pair with Curry's twilight years, it would completely energize this franchise and fan base. Booker would be the perfect successor to carry the Warriors forward while Steph is still elite, creating a seamless transition that keeps Golden State in championship contention for the next 5 to 7 years. So that was the full NBA Today breakdown of the potential Devin Booker blockbuster to Golden State, combined with the Warriors' embarrassing loss to the Bucks, where Ryan Rollins dropped 32 in his revenge game.